Before we start this video, thank you to the members of both of the channels. For those wondering why Bachmann will not be basing any engines off of the brand new Reboot as of now, here is your official answer from Bachmann themselves.
Thomas and Friends is, of course, getting the newly reimagined Reboot series coming up, and which we're of course aware of. We had discussions with Mattel, and we got the okay to keep things on the CGI era because that's going to be the most consistent with everything else we've done in HO scale, especially in recent years.
Yeah, and it's not impossible that we might visit the new era of Thomas and Friends at some point in the future. But for now, we're sticking with the consistency in the line, like Tyler said, and we're excited to bring Thomas and Percy up to the level of detail that they deserve.
So this is a big mistake for multiple reasons, and I'll give you two main ones, and then of course everyone's going to have their own personal reasons, but I think these two big ones are pretty objective and they're not really arguable. So the first one is being the CGI series, while it is consistent with Bachmann's line, it failed and it is now a thing of the very long ago past at this point, because they're not really using Big World Big Adventures. They made Bo and Rebecca, but they're not using Big World Big Adventures, and they of course stayed far away from All Engines Go. So that puts us all the way back around 2016, 2017, nearly a decade ago, pretty much a full decade ago at this point. So Bachmann is basing their engines off of a Reboot CGI series that ended a decade ago. I don't think that's a good idea. Kids nowadays who are going to be buying Bachmann, Thomas, and Friends or getting into it, I doubt that they are really wanting CGI series characters when the model series exists. You are into models because of the model series, because of the very first television series, not because of the CGI animation that failed and had to be rebooted not once, not twice, but a third time. Technically 4 times if you want to count all the changes from within the CGI series and all the different companies with the animations and writing, and so many changes had to be made because things just weren't working. So that's the big first reason. And the second reason is, it ties in with the first. We have a brand new Reboot coming out in 1 month. If you're Bachmann, why would you not want to create a brand new audience? You're always going to have the current audience because you obviously have all the previous models still on store shelves on the market. All your brand new ones, such as Stanley, Rebecca, Ryan, Daisy, all those other characters. But you could literally create a brand new audience, and for younger fans as well who are just getting into model trains, to base everything off the Reboot, the modern day show, the current day show, not a show that failed over a decade ago, sooner or later, over a decade ago. It's smarter to base everything off the brand new Reboot because we're going to have new characters. We're going to have new renders of characters. For example, if Boko actually comes back in the Reboot and is not just a die-cast exclusive, you can make Bachmann Boko based off of the brand new Reboot, or Bachmann Thomas based off of the brand new Reboot. Now, maybe Bachmann is also waiting to see, because in this clip they said they might revisit the Reboot. They might visit the Reboot in the future. They're probably waiting to see if the Reboot is even good or performs well at all whatsoever, and then they will get into talks with Mattel, maybe ask them, hey, is this Reboot actually going to be sticking around because we want our lines to be consistent and to succeed? And that's probably why they haven't touched anything else since the CGI series, because there hasn't been a consistent Thomas show for a very long time, which is really pathetic. But it's not really helping Bachmann to stick in the past and stay in the CGI series on Reboot number whatever. When they're a model train company, use the original model series, use seasons 1 through 5, or just go ahead and use the Reboot. I think sticking in between like they are now is not a very good idea, especially because there was already so much merchandise based off of, so much Mattel slop merchandise based off of their failed Reboot CGI series. So, and they're saying, we're finally going to give Thomas and Percy the details they deserve. Well, you're 25 years late on that, and they're reusing the chassis. I don't really think they're going to look incredibly different besides the faces. We'll see. Hopefully I'm wrong. but I don't know. I really don't like this decision. Unless they go back and redo James, Henry, and Gordon and Toby, I mean, no matter what, you're still going to have a main cast of Bachmann engines that are really scuffed. And I think it would be best to, in my opinion, I want them to go to seasons 1 through 5 and based off the classic characters, off their interpretations in the model series. Of course, everyone wants that, but I see why they're staying away from the reboot. It could really suck, and Bachmann just doesn't. They might just not want to bother with Mattel's nonsense at this point because even Mattel can't get a Thomas show to last longer than a couple of years.